As you find this forward fold, have a bend in your knees and see if the upper body can relax. I always find that I can relax my neck a little further. Sometimes I think it is relaxed, but then I draw the chin towards my chest a bit more, the crown of the head heavy towards the floor, and I find that there's a bit more let go available there. So see if that's the case for you too. And there could be a little sway if you'd like, from side to side, maybe front to back, just testing out the weight on the feet. You could have your eyes closed. And then right now, emphasizing more your exhales rather than your inhales. Of course, to have an exhale, there has to be an inhale, but don't put too much effort into your inhales and let the exhales kind of drop away out through the mouth. There might even be a few sighs. And maybe every time you sigh, you feel like your torso gets closer to your legs, the top of the head gets closer to the floor. And keeping that upper body relaxed, see if you can bring a little movement into your toes. And try and lift them away from the mat, and that might mean a bit more weight towards the heels of your feet. And let your toes be kind of soft. And then allow the toes to come back onto the mat, and then send a bit more of your weight forward without gripping the mat, but just notice a little bit more lightness in the heels of your feet. And then even out between the front of the foot and the back. And then try and push down a bit more through the pinky side of the feet. You might even have your feet a bit pigeon-toed, your big toes closer than your heels. And then return to your torso, and can it keep or stay relaxed, or maybe relax a bit further. 3 more breaths here. And then with your next inhale, lift halfway. Maybe hands on blocks, maybe on your fingertips on the floor, or maybe your hands come to your shins. See if you can lengthen now your spine forward, crown of the head reaching away from your tailbone. Hold here, breathing in and breathing out. And another one. And then we'll find a twist. Walk your right hand towards your left ankle and begin to turn your torso any amount towards the left. Your left hand could stay down, or you could bring your left hand to your hip or your waist. Your chest turning, and your gaze maybe goes up towards the ceiling or anywhere in that direction. And then return through center, and then walk your hands towards your right ankle. And begin to turn your torso towards the right. And again, your right hand could stay down or maybe come up towards your hip. And maybe your gaze anyway towards the ceiling. And then return and do it one more time each side, and take it to where you need today. And then last one towards the right. And then bring yourself back through center, heel to toe your feet back in towards one another, more or less parallel. And now ankles under hips, and with your next inhale, bend the knees and rise into chair. Reach your arms up by your ears, and as you exhale, lower your arms down by your side and back. Inhale and arms will lift, and exhale, arms will lower. And again, inhale and lift, and exhale to lower, and one more. Inhale, arms lift, and exhale, arms lower. Now with your next inhale, straighten legs, reach arms tall, grab a hold of your left wrist and take it over to the right. Pause here, draw your right shoulder slightly forward, your left shoulder slightly back. And then come back through center and switch. Left hand around right wrist, take it up and then over towards the left. And then same thing, right shoulder back, left shoulder slightly forward. And then come back through center. Sweep your arms wide and bring them behind you. Interlace your fingers, keep your elbows bent and slide your hands towards the right hip. So your left elbow is pointing down, your left upper arm is close to your rib cage. And then we'll take a full inhale. And on the exhale, drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Quite the stretch for the left side of your neck. And then add something else here. Push that lower back or the back body towards your arm, the arm that's behind you. Lifting gently through the pubic bone, the lower belly, and lowering the lower ribs. And then bring the head back through center. Slide your hands now towards the left hip. Right elbow is bent. Upper arm close to the torso. Take a full inhale. And on your exhale, left ear, left shoulder, stretch for the right side of the neck. And then rather than pushing forward your belly, think about drawing it gently in as you push that back body into the arm that's behind you. And take a breath. And another. And then as you inhale, release that. Reach your arms wide and up overhead. And on your exhale, half speed to lower your arms down by your side. Slow. Reaching out and all the way down. With your next inhale, bend the knees, sweep your arms forward and up. And on your exhale, left arm down and back. You're in chair with your legs. Inhale, arm lifts. Right arm down and back. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Left arm down. And inhale, lift. And right. On your inhale, lift, straighten legs. And as you exhale, right arm by your side and side bend. Pause here. Maybe your right hand walks down a bit further. And again, broaden left side of your chest. Left shoulder might go back a bit. And you might even lift the gaze looking up. And then as you inhale back through center, same thing to the other side. Left arm down, reaching up and over with the right. Maybe left fingers walk down a bit more. And then broaden right side of your chest. And maybe there's space to turn and look up. As you inhale, return the torso through center, arms can reach up, and on your exhale, we are folding forward and down. Hands to your shins or higher, halfway lift, breath in. Exhale and fold, dropping the head if that's comfortable. Inhale again, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. And another one, half lift. And fold, exhale. On your inhale, return to chair, bend the knees, reach forward, up. And as you exhale, bring hands to your heart. Interlace your fingers and find some rotation through your wrists. Maybe try sitting a little lower, maybe even lifting your toes. Rotate the wrists in the opposite direction. And then as you inhale, pause that, straighten legs, reach your arms tall. On your exhale, left arm down and side bend. Come back through center, breathing in. Exhale to the other side. And back through center, inhale. We're stepping into warrior one. Left foot is going to go back, but now take your time. Maybe move through a balance here, warrior three, any variation. With the back leg lifted, begin to bend into the standing leg and then land with control and lift the torso as you find your warrior one stance. And then in your warrior one stance, you can keep your hands at your heart for a moment here. See if you can lift all 10 toes, the front toes and the back toes. See how that might change your relationship to the ground, maybe affect your balance a bit here. And then soften those toes down. As you inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And on your exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, broaden chest. Exhale, elbow to elbow in front of you. Draw your lower ribs down and in. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to elbow. And inhale, open. And exhale, elbow to elbow. As you inhale, extend your arms overhead, grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand, and then pull that left wrist up and over towards the right side. Extra push into your left foot, the foot that's behind, and then maybe an extra bend through the right knee. Big stretch for the left side body. Another breath. And last one. With your next inhale, return the torso through center, let go of the wrist. We're going to return to the top of the mat, but slowly. So begin to hinge forward, come onto the ball of the back foot, onto the toes, peel them off the mat, almost like a warrior three. And then begin to draw that left knee in. See if you can bring it into the chest as you lift those fingers towards the ceiling. Squeeze right glute, push the floor away with your right foot, another breath in. And then on your exhale, arms lower and left foot meets the right, mountain pose. Give your shoulders a roll up by your ears. And down. As you inhale, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale to find a halfway lift, lengthening the spine. And on your exhale, plant your hands and now step your feet back into downward facing dog. Once you get to your down dog, push through your hands, heels heavy towards the ground, and maybe lift your toes. Take a full breath in and out. Another one. With your next inhale, lift your heels, come onto the balls of the feet, and then begin to roll forward into plank pose. Shoulders come on top of wrists. On your exhale, lift your hips, come onto the tiptoes, and then begin to send your hips back, eventually finding your down dog as you find weight into your heels dropping towards the ground. See if you can do that again, really slow, breathing in. A long inhale takes you out into plank. And a long exhale takes you back into down dog. And let's try it one more time. As slow as you can. And with no rush, we'll meet in downward facing dog whenever you get there. Give yourself a breath. And then we'll use the next inhale to walk the feet towards the hands. And again, we'll do it as slow as possible, making small steps with those feet. And get your feet as close to your hands before lifting your hands. But when you need to, lift your hands and then walk your hands towards your feet. But if you can come all the way to the top of the mat with your feet, do it slow. We'll meet that in a forward fold, dropping the head. As you inhale, bend the knees and come into chair. And on your exhale, bring hands to your heart. Inhale, lift the right heel, come onto the ball of the right foot. And exhale, lower. Lift the left heel and lower. One more at a time or both at the same time for a breath in. Out. Another. And then heels down, straighten legs, reach your arms tall, right arm down, side bend. Inhale back through center and exhale to your left. Inhale, center, it's warrior one. This time it's the right leg that's going to step back. And again, slow things down. Notice the counterweight of your torso as your right leg goes back so that you can control the lowering of that right foot, making it slow. And then once that right foot lands, begin to lift your torso, bringing your shoulders over your hips. Back foot well planted, and then take a moment to lift those toes. See if you can engage a bit more through your right glute. And then soften those toes down. As you inhale, arms lift. And on your exhale, bend your elbows, just like we did on the other side. Open through the chest, breath in. And elbow to elbow, breath out. Two more, inhale. Exhale. Imagine that you had an accordion. Inhale, you stretching it out. And exhale, you squeezing it. As you inhale now, extend your arms overhead. This time it's your left hand that wraps around the right wrist. We're pulling it up first, and then we're taking it over to the left. Now, can you push extra through the pinky side edge of the back foot? Maybe you can bend a bit more into your left knee. Full breath in. And a full breath out. One more. Coming back through center on the inhale, release the wrists. We're coming to the top of the mat. Again, slow it down. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Hinge forward. Lighten up on the back toes. Lift that back leg. Maybe it's a warrior three here, or any version of. And then begin to draw that right knee in towards your chest as your torso lifts. See if you can hold here, leg lifted for a breath in. And then on your exhale, as your arms lower, that right foot meets the floor, back into mountain pose. Bring the shoulders up. And release them down. One more breath in. And out. As you inhale, arms sweep up. And on your exhale, right arm down, side bend. Inhale back through center. And exhale over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, plant your hands and step back, down dog. Take a breath here. And then just like we did before, we're coming in and out from plank, slowing things down so you can feel every micro movement and notice what's involved in making your way out into plank from your down dog. Maybe holding your plank, maybe finding a bend in your elbows, and then a straightening. And then making your way back into downward facing dog, finding that lift through your sit bones. Up and back, that heaviness in your heels. And try that 2 more times. Lengthening those inhales and lengthening that transition into plank. Maybe that bend in the elbows, the straightening, and then return into down dog. And one more time at your own pace. No rush, we'll meet back in down dog. Find a breath there. And then walking those feet towards the hands again, small steps. You might even come onto your tiptoes. Think about lifting through that lower belly. Getting your feet as close to your hands as you can. And then we'll meet in a forward fold on the exhale. You could hold on to opposite elbows. You could do in front of the legs, or if you'd like, wrap your arms behind your legs. And then release those elbows as you inhale, bend the knees, chair pose, sweep your arms forward, up. And on your exhale, bring hands to your heart. All right, you could do what we did before, lifting the heels 1 at a time, 2 at the same time, or you could lift the whole foot. So when you're ready, coming onto the right tiptoes, maybe that right knee comes all the way into the chest, but keep your chair pose with the rest of the body, and then return. Same thing with the left, and then return. And then one more, and if you'd like, as you lift, you could also add a straightening of the leg, and then return. And last one, lift. Maybe straighten, and return. Then straighten both legs, come all the way up to stand. Your arms could reach tall. And then right arm can come behind us towards the left hip as you find a side bend to the right. And then back through center. Left arm behind towards the right hip as you side bend left. And then back through center. And on your exhale, arms go wide and fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, downward facing dog. Now full breath in here, and on your exhale, bend the knees and slowly lower your knees to the mat. Meeting in a table pose, your hands come under the shoulders, the knees are more or less under the hips. And then as you inhale, take your right arm out to the side and up towards the ceiling. Turn your rib cage towards the right. Maybe look up if that's available. Take a wiggle through your fingers. Maybe some rotation through your wrists if you'd like. And then pause that, breath in. And on your exhale, thread that right arm under the left and look left. Inhale, open again to the right. And exhale, thread left. Another one, open. And exhale. Now as you thread, we're going to lower. So if a block or a pillow is helpful to bring a float a bit higher, make sure you've got them. Your right palm is facing up towards the ceiling. You're looking towards the left. Side of your head is resting on something. And then use first your left hand by your face to push into the floor a bit. See if you can feel some extra stretch through the right shoulder blade area. And then push down through the top of the right hand, maybe even your right fingernails, into the floor. A bit more action through your right arm, and then maybe that left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. The palm turns and you drop it behind you towards the right hip. Your eyes could close, find that breath. And then return that left hand by your face if it went somewhere else. Bring weight into it and then open up again towards the right. Right arm reaches tall and now circle that right arm. Bring it forward, down by your side, up. Maybe another one in that direction. And then a couple in the other direction. And then we'll meet back with both hands down. Before going to the other side, let's add a cow and a cat, lowering through the belly. Chest comes forward, gaze might go up, tailbone goes up. And then cat pose, rounding through the spine, chin towards the chest, push the floor away. Find again that neutral spine. Let's find that thread the needle on the other side. Left arm reaches out and up. Think about rotating your torso towards the left. Take a moment here, maybe look up if the space is there. Push the floor away with the bottom hand. And then thread. Left arm under right and look right. And then again, open to the left. And thread right. And open left. And thread right. This time we're lowering to the mat, lowering the side of the head, the shoulder. And just take a moment first to push into your right hand. It's by your face. See if you can find a bit more stretch through the left shoulder blade area, maybe somewhere else too. And then activate a bit more your left arm. So spread those fingers and push the top of the hand and the fingernails down. Maybe push a little bit more through the outer shoulder, left side. And then from here, you could explore extending your right arm up towards the ceiling, turning the palm and draping it behind you. And just do that if it feels right for you today. And again, maybe eyes close here. Notice the sensations. Notice the effect of the shape on your breathing. Take another breath. And then begin to unwind that right hand by your face. Take some weight and open up again towards the left. Give those fingers a little wiggle, a little movement here, and then find some movement through your arm, some circles with that left arm. You can let your torso move some too here, and then switch direction. And when you're ready, we'll meet back in table pose. Take an inhale into cow. And then as you exhale, find cat first, and then tuck your toes, and then really slow, begin to make your way into down dog, but slow things down. Notice what parts you tend to move fast through and see if today you can really kind of pay attention to them and maybe, linger a little bit longer. There's like an in-between when you're getting into down dog. Sometimes I've heard it called bear pose. It's like when your belly and your thighs are kind of close together and your heels are still very lifted. You're on the balls of the feet. Your shoulders are no longer over your wrist. They're going back. And see if you can find that spot. Sometimes that feels nice. And then your heels begin to drop and your thighs move away from your belly. And you come into your down dog. Once you get there, look under your right armpit, under your left. Look towards the belly, notice the stretch through the back of your neck. And then look beyond your fingers. And just like we did earlier, walk your feet towards your hands, small steps, lifting through that lower belly, pushing the floor away with your hands so that there is space for your legs to come forward. And then we'll meet in a forward fold, top of the mat. Take a moment here, breathing in and breathing out. And then bring hands to your hips and unroll your spine, rising all the way up to stand once again. Meeting in mountain pose, allowing your arms to relax down by your side, your palms facing forward, the crown of the head reaching tall. Breathing in and breathing out. And then as you inhale, arms sweep up. On your exhale, right arm down for a side bend. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, take it to your left. Inhale back through center. On your exhale, this time we're transitioning into warrior two. Slowly, left foot stepping back. Again, you could come into somewhat of a warrior three. Begin to bend into your standing leg and then land with your left foot as you lift your torso and extend your arms forward and back. Turn your palms to face up towards the ceiling. Find a bend in your elbows and allow your elbows to drop heavy, but make sure that it doesn't pull your spine down. So your shoulders are going to relax some, but your spine stays lifted and tall. There's a squeeze through your glutes, a lift through the lower belly. And then keep your shoulders down as you turn your palms down and extend through your elbows once again. Your gaze is over your right fingers. And we're going to take 3 breaths right here in this stillness. And then on your inhale, straighten the front leg. You could reach your arms overhead, maybe palms touch. And then pivot on your right heel. You're coming into warrior two towards the other side, towards the back of your mat. Pivot on your left heel, left toes now point left. Bend into your left knee and then lower your arms back into your warrior two arms. Your gaze now over your left fingers. Take a moment to lift your toes, spread them out. And let the effort and the ease coexist. Two more breaths. And then with your next inhale, straighten through your left knee, arms overhead. Parallel your feet this time, slightly pigeon toe them, maybe shorten the distance between them. And we're coming into a forward fold. Hands come to hips. We'll take a breath in first to lengthen, and then hinge hips from hips forward and down as you find this wide leg forward fold, lowering your hands to your shins, to blocks, to the floor. Maybe you come onto your fingertips. And then as you inhale, find a halfway lift. Left hand under the nose, and then right arm sweeps to the right and up towards the ceiling, finding a twist. You could stay with your right arm lifting, or you could bring it to your sacrum, bending through the elbow. And then send your left hip a little back. Press through the pinky side edges of your feet. Take a breath in. And out. Could you push a little bit more through the bottom hand? One more breath. And then from here, returning through center. This time the right hand plants under your nose. You've still got this half lift position. So hands might be on blocks, or right hand might be on a block. And then begin to turn your torso, your rib cage towards the left. That left arm could sweep up towards the ceiling. Prioritize the rotation through your rib cage rather than the arm lifting tall. So let the arm kind of be like a continuation of the rotation of your torso. And then, of course, that arm could be extended, or maybe it rests on your sacrum. Push the floor away with your bottom hand and breathe. And then returning through center, forward fold. Find a bend through the knees, bring your hands to your hips and unroll your spine as you rise all the way up to stand. Pivot on your right heel, turn your toes to face the top of the mat. Find your warrior two for a moment, extending your arms, breath in. And on your exhale, take your hands to the mat and step back into downward facing dog. And take a full inhale. A long exhale. And another one. And then from here, lift your heels. And again, slowly, maybe coming through that bear pose, begin to bend the knees. We're going to make our way into a child's pose. So maybe find that place where belly and thighs come a bit closer together. And then eventually, slowly, the knees hover, meet the mat, untuck your toes and sit bones towards heels. Child's pose, anything that you'd like to do with your arms. It could be out in front of you, by your side, underneath you. Maybe you use your hands to support your head. They could rest. Your forehead could rest into the palms. And then from your child's, begin to lift your spine. I'm going to come into a seat so you can sweep your feet to one side, plant your sit bones, and then bring the legs in front of you. Coming into a seated twist, I'll give you a couple of options here. You could do, you could do right leg extended in front of you. You could cross your left foot over, or you could also do right knee bent, right heel towards left glute, and then your left foot over. So, yeah, hope that made sense. Both sit bones, make sure both sit bones are well planted. And then from here, take an inhale. Your arms can reach up, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, left hand slides behind us, right arm wraps around that left knee as you turn your torso left. Couple breaths. Shoulders down, spine tall. As you inhale, return your torso through center. Keep the legs as they are. You could reach your arms up. And on your exhale, lower your hands to the right and let your spine round, dropping the head. Maybe give your neck a little roll. And as you inhale, return the torso through center and then unwind your legs. See if you can do this without using your hands and see if you can find the opposite now. So now left leg could be extended or bent, left heel towards right glute, and then your right foot comes over and plants to the left side. Both sit bones well planted, and as you breathe in, your arms reach tall. On your exhale, it's your right hand that slides behind us, that left arm wraps around the right knee, and your torso turns right. And now breathe. Broad through your chest, lifted through your spine. And use your next inhale to bring the torso back. You could reach your arms up. And then let's take both hands to the left as we round over. Dropping the head, and again, maybe loosening through the jaw, some movement through the neck if that feels good. And as you inhale, come back through center. Unwind the legs. And this time, knees bent, feet well planted, and we're coming onto our backs. Your arms could reach out in front of you. Take a full inhale. As you exhale, chin to chest and lower back. And then mid back, those back ribs. And then those shoulder blades. See if the head can still be lifted. And then the back of the head. And once that is down, bring those heels in, closer to your sit bones, arms by your side. Scoot your shoulder blades a little under and then lift your hips. Stay here, lift and lower. Or if you're staying lifted, maybe lift one heel, lower it, then lift the other, lower it. Maybe lift both heels, see how that feels. Other movements that you can do in bridge with your legs can be cool. You could heel to toe your feet out, keeping your knees over your ankles, and then heel to toe them back in. You could play with that a few times. Give yourself about 5 more breaths. And then when you feel ready, return those hips to the mat and bring the right knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze, maybe a wiggle through your toes and your ankle. And then you choose here, you could do a half happy baby, sending that right knee towards your right armpit, right foot maybe towards the ceiling. Or instead, you could do a figure 4 if you prefer. So it's getting to different things. So depending on how your hips are feeling here. If your hip flexor feels like it needs more compression, your glute needs more stretch, go for that half happy baby. If you prefer some outer hip stretch, some glute stretch, but your hip flexor feels like it needs some space, go for that figure 4. If you're not sure, try them both. And then when you're ready, we'll switch. So that right foot will plant, bring the left knee into your chest, give it a squeeze, give that ankle, the toes, a little movement. And then see what this side needs. Does it need a half happy baby? Does it prefer a figure four? Or could it do with a bit of both? Maybe have happy baby first and then figure four. And then release, left foot meets the ground. Bring your feet wide with your knees still bent and let your knees rest in against one another. Your hands to lower belly, lower rib cage. And then see if you can find the right position for your pelvis and your lower back so that there is space in that lower back and you feel grounded. You might be able to lengthen your spine just a tad more. And then notice the movement of your breath under your hands. And try not to effort here. So there is movement. There might be some intentional movement too on your part, but you're not getting exhausted or stressed about it right now. And then you could make your way straight into Shavasana here, maybe staying just as you are, or shifting to a position, a shape that feels extra comfortable, more settling. And maybe when you get there, you signal the transition with an open mouth exhale. And now you really let go of any control over your breathing. And as best you can, let go of controlling the physical body and even the mental body. Adopt the witness, observing stance. And as best you can, be loving and compassionate towards what you observe, what you witness. Nothing else to do right now. As always, if you have the time to stay, a bit of a longer Shavasana, definitely you can do that. If not, if it's time to move on, bring your attention back to your breathing. You notice the movement of your breath, and then invite some more movement into the rest of your body. Moving in any way that feels right to you at this point. Eventually we'll find a seat, we'll meet there. And your hands might rest in your lap, or you might choose to bring your hands to your chest. Your eyes might stay closed, and maybe give yourself another breath. And we'll take this moment to appreciate the practice, to appreciate ourselves and our own practice, to appreciate those who have practiced with us, and to appreciate those who have made it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.